Tonight, the new connection between President Trump and Nickelback.
And a price increase on Google Gold. Find out how much you will have to pay for a can of cheese.
Murrow News 8 starts now.
Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Corbin White.
And I'm John Lee. Welcome to Murrow News 8. We start tonight with breaking news. At least 3 people have been injured in active shooter situation in Vancouver, Washington, and KGW report 1 person has died. According to the Columbian, the shooter opened fire at the Smith Center Tower in downtown Vancouver. According to the Vancouver Fire Department, 2 people were transferred to Peace Health Southwest Medical Center and are in satisfactory condition. At news time, the shooter was still barricaded in an apartment.
Look at this photograph. President Donald Trump tweeted that along with a video that contained copyrighted music.
Look at this photograph.
Photograph played behind the video that contained a photograph of Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden on a golf course. According to CNN, Warner Music Incorporated filed the complaint. According to The Guardian, Biden was accompanied by his son, Hunter, and a, quote, Ukrainian gas exec named Devin Archer in this picture. The tweet still exists, but the video could not be played. A USA Today poll says 38 to 45% of Americans want President Donald Trump impeached over the alleged phone call with the Ukrainian president. USA Today polled over 1,000 adults Tuesday. 35 to 44% of those polled think Trump should be removed from office and convicted. Trump claims the call he had was quote, perfect, and thinks the impeachment inquiry is a, quote, hoax.
The ASWSU passed a resolution Wednesday regarding the death of Laura McCloskey. Laura McCloskey, a Pullman High School grad, was killed on the University of Utah campus last fall. ASWSU pro tempore Hannah Martin says the resolution called for the University of Utah to, quote, listen to the demands of their students regarding Lauren's death, as well as safety on campus, unquote. Senator Martin hopes that other Pac-12 schools adopt a similar legislation. Professionals discussed the final plan for enhancing downtown Pullman area. Yolanda Lee is live with more on the discussion plan. Yolanda?
Thanks, John. I'm at Main Street in downtown Pullman. According to Moscow Pullman Daily News, there are 6 areas in downtown that may be improved. The ideas include narrowing Main Street to 2 lines and creating angled parking. This would create 17 more parking spaces between Paradise Street and Grand Avenue to provide safer conditions for drivers and workers. Other suggestions include creating new backways and more mixed-use buildings. About 80% of the final draft of the plan will be ready in November. The final is expected to be completed by February. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Yolanda Lee.
Thanks, Yolanda. The price of Google Gold cheese is going up. Cans of Google Gold will sell for $24 next year, up from the current cost of $22. The WSU Creamery is hoping to produce about 300,000 cans of cheese next year, 50,000 more than this year. With the increased price, the Google Gold production team will support student workers and funding of educational centers for the university.
12 teams of finalists will present tonight in the Adobe Creative Jam competition. The project opened in September, and students teamed up to create an app using critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and digital literacy skills. Prizes will be awarded from Adobe, who helped mentor teams along the way.
The associate. Okay. The Wall Street Journal report.
The Wall Street Journal reported today that more than 40 Sports Illustrated employees will lose their jobs, some as early as today. Seattle-based company The Maven, who owns the license of Sports Illustrated, is planning on hiring nearly 200 contract workers to cover sports. A number of Sports Illustrated employees signed a petition to executives at the company. The petition stated, quote, "The Maven wants to replace top journalists in the industry with a network of Maven freelancers and bloggers." And we'll be back after the break.
It's an off week for WSU football, but there's still plenty going on in the sports world. Kevin Gonzalez has our sports report today. Kevin?
Thanks, John. Minshew Mania is in full swing. Gardner Minshew has awarded the NFL Rookie of the Month for September. Minshew's NFL career is off to an incredible start, passing for 905 yards. The award comes less than a week after Minshew led his Jaguars to a 14-point comeback win over the Denver Broncos. The win came at a cost, however. Minshew suffered a left knee injury at the waning moments of Sunday's win. He's officially questionable for Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. The Major League Playoffs divisional rounds start today as St. Louis Cardinals take on Atlanta Braves, and the Washington Nationals play at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Nationals made it after a comeback win against the Milwaukee Brewers on Tuesday night in the National League wildcard game. In the American League wildcard game yesterday, the Tampa Bay Rays defeated the Oakland Athletics. The Rays will take on the Houston Astros tomorrow morning. The puck dropped for another NHL season. The St. Louis Blues, who won the Stanley Cup at the end of last season, started the season with an overtime loss to the Washington Capitals. Per ESPN, 3 teams look to be the elite teams of the season. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Vegas Golden Knights open as the favorites to win the Stanley Cup this go-around. The 3-1 Seattle Seahawks play at home tonight against the 3-1 Los Angeles Rams. The Seahawks won this last Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals, and the Rams are coming off a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Russell Wilson is off to the best start to the season in his career with almost 73% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The Seahawks are favored to win the game, but they have not beat the Rams since 2017. Damian Lillard recently came out with a new rap that claims Shaq only won his titles because he was carried by the likes of Kobe and Dwayne Wade. According to ESPN, what started this was a basketball rap feud. Was Damian Lillard on a podcast last week said he believes he's a better rapper than Shaq after Shaq released a track that said Lillard was not an elite NBA guard. The wait is now on to see if Shaq responds back.
Next, is rain in the cars for this weekend?
Your forecast is next on Murrow News 8.
Pre-diabetes, 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother. You, yes. Your football buddy, your football buddy. You, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Sean O'Connor is in our weather center. What's this weekend looking like, Sean?
Well, Corbin, you're going to have to wait until later in the weathercast to get that information. But first, today's weather, as everyone woke up in Pullman, Washington today, a bit of a cloudy forecast, high around 54 degrees, which is cooler than the average around this time of year. We normally hang around 66 degrees here in early October. Low of around 39 degrees, so not quite the freezing temperatures we've seen, but we still remind you to drive carefully as ice can crop up on occasion. Sunset around 6:23 tonight and winds 5 miles per hour out of the northwest. Take a look at tomorrow's forecast. Very similar temperatures, high of around 55 degrees and low around 38 degrees as well. Sunset still at 6:23 and winds between 5 and 15 miles per hour out of the west. Just take a look at our state map. We may or may not have that graphic. The temperatures on the east side, around 54 degrees. We do have the graphic. It's always great news. 54 degrees the high in Pullman, 56 up in Spokane. Fairly clear across, or very cloudy weather on the east side with some rain up in Spokane. As we look over at Central Washington, Tri-Cities, and Yakima in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. We see some rain in Yakima and cloudy skies in Tri-Cities. And over on the west side, highs at 57 in Olympia and 62 degrees in Seattle with some rain in the forecast for Seattle. Now we take a look at the 5-day forecast. We see some rain for Friday, but this weekend, sunny weather, 57 degrees on Saturdays, your high, 38 degrees your low, 62 degrees on Sunday, and we get a big warm up on Monday, 67 degrees with a low of around 45. But Tuesday, things get a little colder, down to 61 degrees, low temperature right around freezing at 34 degrees, and winds getting pretty windy on Tuesday, gusts over 40 miles an hour, and we're going to send it back to the weather or to the news desk. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sean. When we come back, find out about UPS and their new method of delivery.
When Murrow News 8 continues.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man who gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
$12.1 million, the price of a piece of artwork from a street artist. The painting devolved Parliament by world-famous street artist Banksy, sold in London today for the astonishing price, placing Banksy in the ranks of some of the most elite artists in the world. Many consider this high price tag to be an anticlimactic ending to the saga of the painting after a Banksy painting sold last year for $1.4 million and then immediately shredded itself. Thank you for watching tonight. Be sure to watch our live newscasts at nwpb.org/mn8 and on Cable 8 at 7 and 10.
Don't forget, you can also follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night.